Hello and welcome. It is time once again to try to fix something, and today on the workbench we have a PS4 Pro, and I don't work on a lot of PS4s here lately, but I did buy this one, and I think I paid like $85 total, and I bought it because it should be, I'm hoping, a relatively simple one. It's a no video, and the seller mentioned that there was a note on it that had been worked. It was left behind by a customer, and they had tried replacing the encoder and the HDMI port and still didn't work. So yeah, I think we're looking at something previously worked on and maybe just some bad soldering. So but it looked like in beautiful condition. So it was shipping and all, it was like 85 bucks. I can't complain about that. So let's get on into this and see if we can maybe bring it back to life. Well, I had already taken the bottom off of it, and I realized I hadn't even tried to turn it on yet. Let's do that. Blue light. Because I have seen people list blue light of death consoles as no video, which is technically true, but not really accurate. Okay, white light. Excellent. So we're booted up. We're working. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better about buying this thing. Now I'll continue it. By the way, it is very clean inside. I mean, very clean. I haven't even seen any dust. Of course, it may have gotten cleaned out when somebody worked on it. All right, now let's take it on apart and get down, because like I said, we don't see any video. Don't see any video. I tell you what, let's do one more test. Go ahead and shut her down. One more test before we take it on apart. It must have been in safe mode. Okay. We'll take the power off of it. We're going to check looking back into this HDMI port with a breakout board. Oops. And I may just turn it upside down where I can actually see it. It's kind of the way these things are shaped. That's easier to see. What kind of a diode check do we get looking back into this? It can tell you a lot about the health of the port itself, or the the encoder I see back behind it. Red probe on ground as soon as I can find a good place to put it. All right, what do we have now? We're in let me get this in diode mode. Diode mode. Pin 1, no connection. 2 should be grounded. Pin 3 is no connection. Okay. 4 is no connection. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, those should be ground, but none of our signal pins are there. None of them. 13. Not even 13. Oh, 2.2? That's an odd reading. That's not normal. 14 is no connection. 15, that looks all right. 16 looks all right. 17 is ground, that's right. 18, that does not look right. This should be like 5/10, 6/10 of a volt. So that's not right. And then 19. That looks normal. So we have an issue. All of our signal lines look open. And by signal, I mean like 1 and 3 is a pair, 4 and 6, 7 and 9, 10 and 12. All of those read open, which may mean the little inductors, the little chokes, may be open in there. Kind of strange that they're all open, but there's also something going on pin 18, which is the 5-volt output. That does not look normal either. That seems way low. So this is going to be interesting to see what kind of I just have a feeling we're going to find a mess. It's just a feeling. Well, here we are inside the workbench, ready to take a look at this PS4 Pro board under the microscope if we could. I've got it kind of raised up so we can move the board around, get a good view of it. So give me a moment to get it in focus here if I could. Yeah, something like that. Okay, that's better. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Am I zoomed in? I think I am zoomed in. Let's look at this port. Does look like somebody's been soldering on it, doesn't it? And they all look pretty well soldered, except for maybe, trying to make sure I keep everything in the shot. This is hard to do. That one? Yeah, I think it is moving. Okay. So one possible problem there. But that doesn't make all these lines go open. Remember, we didn't have any data lines. Look at the chip. I think somebody has tried to change the chip out as well. I'm going to try to zoom in here. Get this focused. If you look down in there, I don't think any of the pins on this side of the chip are soldered down. A lot of flux, a lot of dried flux up in there. It makes it hard to see. Yeah, she's definitely offset, but I don't think it's touching any of the pads on this side. So that's going to be why we're getting the open readings on the 1 and 3, 4 and 6. Is it 7 and I get them mixed up. Anyway, the differential output pins. This one here looks a little bit lacking on this end. Take a look down there. No, that's not really. I don't think this chip is quite sitting down properly. What about the other side? Can we get over here? The alignment looks better on this end. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. Yeah, it definitely looks off on that end, doesn't it? Anyway, so that's what we're in store for, is a reflow this chip, see if we can get it to sit down properly and maybe align a little bit better. Also, look at the other side of the board here just a second. Here we are. Let's get this thing. Let me get rid of that zoom, make it easier to focus things. Got a diode knocked out of position here. I'm not sure if this port's been changed. Maybe. Yeah, look how hot those resistors are black from heat. Looks like. See there, right there. This whole area has been pretty darn hot, even right there. So, yeah, sometimes been heating from the bottom, and because we had a low reading on that 5-volt output, which would be basically coming through that fuse right there. There's an IC to switch it out there, it looks like. So anyway, I think if we get the encoder IC set down properly, that'll fix 99% of our problems. I'm not sure if it'll fix our problem on that pin 18 or not. Well, let's try to get to it. Alright, our encoder IC has been straightened and aligned a little bit better and pushed down, and I think the solder joints look pretty good on it. Have we done any good? Looking into our port in diode mode. Pin 1, good. 2 is ground. 3 looks good. 4 is good. 5 is ground. 6 is good. 7, 8, 9, all good. 10, 11 is ground. 12, looks good. 13, 14 is no connect. 15 looks good. 16, 17 is ground. 18 still does not look right. That's way too low. 19 is good. So 18, which is the plus 5 volts going out the HDMI port, we still have a problem. There's usually a diode on there. I wonder if we've got a shorted diode. That's a good possibility. Alright, I just want to confirm which one of these diodes is the one hooked to pin 18. So I'm in continuity mode. Pin 18 on my breakout board is here. I think it's this one. Yes, that's the one. Alright, let's look under the microscope and you can see it is this one. And if I go to diode mode, right across there, 0.08 of a volt. So I think our diode has failed. These are our 5.6 volt Zeners, what they are. And I've got plenty of them. Let me lift that and see if that does indeed get rid of our short. So this board may have gotten hit by lightning. That's usually why these things break down. Turn it around like so. Now, yeah, reading 0.07 now. And if I go across my, well, the diode's gone, so if I go to pin 18 now, 0.6 of a volt. So yeah, let's change that Zener out. Pretty sure I have some. Just have to find them. Alright, we are back out in the garage and ready to see if we've done any good with this. The diode readings look good. I've got it back together partially. I don't have all the screws in it. Just enough to see if it's going to work or not. Let's see what happens. Turns on, blue light, fan spins. Do we get some video? I saw the monitor lock. Come on. What are we doing? Okay, are we restarting? Yeah, we're restarting. She's probably going to want to do a system storage check. There we go. That's video though. So yeah, it looks like somebody tried to replace the HDMI encoder, which may or may not have been the problem at all, since that diode was shorted. It could have been that diode that was shorted could have been the whole problem the whole time. So just a little bit of straightening and adjustment on that encoder IC, and cleaned up some pins on the HDMI port. Replaced one 5.6 volt Zener on the 5 volt rail going out the HDMI port, pin 18. And we have a functional PS4 Pro, which I still need to clean up a little bit and put back together. Anyway, I think she's going to be good, though. If you thought that was somewhat interesting or educational, entertaining, or anything of any of the above, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the very next repair. So long for now.